The problem with us in our country is just that we're so attached to Bollywood and theatrics that we aren't, in most cases, able to tell an honest story.
Music videos capture the essence, culture, and sentiments of an era. And Misha is from a rare breed of artists who are sustaining this art form in India.
It's very open, because of which it just makes it really exciting, because there's so much you can experiment with. Like you could just have one random thought when you see something one day and you're like, oh, I'll make this into a music video. And you can. Music and camera movement should sync together, and that a lot of people don't do. Because when a music goes a certain way, the camera can go that way, and that's when you kind of feel the magic, because, you're like, okay, this is actually just fitting well together. With music videos, normally I get the song, then I think I hear it again and again and again. I obviously collaborate with the artists, ask them 100 questions about what they were thinking when they were writing the song. Also, depending from artist to artist, they obviously have quite a clear picture of what they want the video to be like.
Because no one out there was waiting for my short film. It's I who wanted to make them. So I had to pull them off in next to nothing.
When Bollywood failed to give him a chance, Devashish created his own brand of surrealist short films. Dev's films tackle contemporary topics with an absurdist touch.
People think I made short films first and then came to features. I did 8 years of features that now my features saw the light of day. Then I made shorts because I was hungry to get something out. With every film, it's been a different journey. Some films have a structure, some films don't, which makes my life more difficult. Because then with every film, I'm discovering the film at every step. I don't really know where it's going to end up.
Dev's stories feature some of the finest acting talent in India.
I've worked with people who I knew for almost a decade. I was just lucky that they happened to find, their place in the sun when I got a chance to make a film with them.
India is a country driven by family viewing, where television soaps and Bollywood films make up for 93% of video consumption. Yet, new age filmmakers like Dev and Misha are changing the consumption pattern. But finding producers remains a challenge.
They're going through a very long journey trying to get their money back. With a mainstream film, you make it, you finish making it. Between the time you finished making it and your release on a Friday is a month, 2 months max. And then your money starts coming in. With my films, it could take 2 to 5 years for even a few lakhs to come back in. So they get uncomfortable, and I've been made to stop talking about budgets. I'm actually not even supposed to be saying this publicly, but I think people need to know that I'm in a bit of a spot when it comes to budgets. But my earlier few short films, next to nothing. Everyone had to work for free. Otherwise, I couldn't have made them. The same producer gets excited by how out of the box my idea is. 1, 2, 3 months later, they're like, oh fuck, it's too out of the box. So उसी चीज को लेकर उनकी गांड फट जाती है. And they don't know what to do with the film. By that time, I'm racing through it because I know they'll have second thoughts. I've been there too many times. So I finish the film and they're like, now what do we do with this film? So then they don't know what to do with the film.
Possibly one reason why I'll continue doing indie videos my entire life. The budgets are minuscule, and it's sometimes a real challenge. Even right now we're thinking about, okay, we need to make a music video, but we have no money, so that's constantly happening. The last video I made for Rakshit was on a PPT, so it was we have zero money, how are we going to do it?
I don't romanticize the theater experience, People feel very passionate about shooting on film, the darkness of a theater. I don't give a fuck. If I can take my stories out there, I don't care how they get out there. Because what happened to the theater is that, firstly, 150 years back, there were no theaters. So you took land that could have been agrarian land and you built fucking theaters on them, right? So that itself was not in the greater common good. So now, because 150 years have passed, you're romanticizing the theater. The theater has so many overheads. You need to have AC in that theater. You need to have a certain technology. And you need to get that many people to fill up the room. Those overheads kill you. And that's energy you'd rather put into making your film, no?
While producers skimp on funds for digital films, Google studies show online video viewing will touch over 500 million people by 2022. But how do the filmmakers reach out to this audience?
And like I'm saying, with these films, even in the making of it, you're you're discovering it. So the marketing of it is also a discovery. You can't plan it. The age of the filmmaker is over. You have to be a film entrepreneur. You have to understand where your money is going and how you're going to use every buck to get your bang. How you're going to distribute it, how you're going to reach that audience. So you're responsible end to end. You can't just make the film and say, okay, now I made it, now you release it. Because that other guy doesn't know with what passion you made it. What you're trying to say, only you know it. So take the trouble to put it out there.
Right now, like, you know, there are so many like people who have their own YouTube channels that are just like, you know, putting out content every day. And I mean, the good thing is like there is space for everybody. The bad thing is there is space for everybody, you know, so obviously there's no like quality control here.
So that freedom is mostly getting misused. Because there's a lot of shit on YouTube. So people think that because no one's censoring it, there's no one really monitoring the quality, so you can put anything out there. But I've also sensed that over time, the shit gets rejected. And more or less, the quality stuff sort of stays.
Although censorship was started for the protection of internet users, it has now degenerated into a hysterical restriction by content gatekeepers.
And Ugly Bar also, the original title of the film was Ab Ki Bar, which was the Modi Sarkar line. And for me, it was a reactionary film to the politics of the time. And I had to change the title because they would have had trouble putting it online. And it might have gotten attacked and censored and all of those things.
And I feel like also with the mainstream of the film industry, for example, in Bollywood, there's a little bit of fatigue. People are looking for other stuff. We just talking about secret films. We're just talking about like other like short films and stuff like that. I feel like because there's now such a sort of wide population of young people with access, they're going to get tired of bullshit. They have a strong bullshit filter. Okay, so if you're going to give them Golmaal 3 or whatever the fuck, you know, they're going to look for something else that sort of really relates to them.
No one expects you to make something that is really high production value or anything. It's just as long as you can tell a story and like the way you want.
But it's damn exciting, you know? Like I find it like really, like yeah, I can be a cynical old motherfucker and be like, yeah, it's all fuck all, and like I wish it was back in the days of the VHS, the handy cam. Like fuck off, man. I love fucking POV GoPro style with the handheld gimbal that's giving me these fucking amazing sort of effects and video and stuff like that. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's insane. And because of it, the kind of art that's coming out is wow. Yeah, like a document. Yeah. I mean now, like if we were doing this like say 10 years ago, it'd be like 4 times the cost, nah? Like, oh fuck, but you can make a documentary about this subject. Like I could make the documentary about the history of Western music in India, man. Like whatever, like as in, you know. So I find it a damn exciting, especially in India where there is this mainstream fatigue. They're like, ah fuck, I want another Golmaal. Keep your fucking Golmaal to yourself. You know? Yeah.